From the room,
Yeah,
traffic for 6 hours.
God forbid.
Hello, we're back on the record.
Great.
We'll ask if you state your name for the record,
Jeffrey McDonald?
and you were going to be sworn in earlier, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, proceed with questions.
Sir, what's your rank as sergeant, yes?
Correct.
How long have you been employed on the Village County Sheriff's Office?
Approximately 22 years,
And how long have you held the rank of sergeant?
going on 18 years.
Now, do you know Keith Baughman? So that's my right.
I do.
And has Keith Baughman ever been in your supervision?
Yes.
Now, let me get something out of the way. During the course of the first hearing, there was discussion about Keith Baughman's personnel evaluations. And there was suggestion that you may have somehow fudged the numbers. In other words, giving him an evaluation he did not know.
I'm gonna object to the form of the question. I don't know that it's appropriate to tell witnesses what other witnesses have testified for about.
I'll reverse that.
Okay. Sir, during the course of your, well, back up, how long was Deputy Baughman under your supervision, sir?
That was personnel file in front of me. I couldn't accurately tell you that several years.
Now, during the course of your supervision of him, it was one of your responsibilities to get the performance evaluation?
Yes, sir.
Now, would you like to keep Baughman, sir?
As I once told the sheriff in the meeting that I had with him, I do not lie, I do not cheat, and I do not steal, and I answer to a higher authority than anybody in this room, be it Jesus Christ. So my answer to that question is no.
Would you give him a performance evaluation that you didn't deserve?
No.
I'd like to draw your attention, please, what's been, is before you, what's been marked as KB2 in evidence. And is this the performance evaluation you gave to Deputy Baughman?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm turning, and this is a exceed standards evaluation, correct?
Correct.
Now, during the course of your time that you had Deputy Baughman on your shift, how would you characterize his performance versus the other deputies on your shift?
Deputy Baughman was one of my senior deputies on shift. He was a field training officer. He was my go-to, for all intents and purposes, right-hand man. He took care of assignments and things that needed special attention. But he was the deputy on the shift that I could go to make those things.
Would you characterize him as your most trusted deputy on your shift? Well, when I say trusted,
He was without question. I trust all of my deputies individually, but I couldn't trust anybody more than I trusted Keith.
so if you had an assignment that required special care or required somebody you knew that would do a bang up job the first go around, would it be Deputy Baughman that you would do?
On more than one occasion.
Now, you're referred to me as your go-to deputy. Now, you understand why we're here, right?
I do.
Deputy Baughman is appealing his termination.
I
And
understand.
before we go down the line of discussing these evaluations in detail, let me ask you one question. Would you be proud to have Keith Baughman back in green and on your ship as a deputy sheriff?
I would.
And why is that, sir?
Because you can't fake experience, you can't trade it, and Keith had it. My position today is I have an entire shift of relatively kids, for the most part. I mean, they're young and they're starting their career like we all did, but the experience, the longevity and the training and the expertise that he had was invaluable to me. And, these are my opinions, And I've looked at it this way, and it's no question to me. If any of my loved ones, or I was to have a critical emergency personally, I would have no question I would want to keep off from that.
What I'd like to do is go through briefly some of these performance evaluations, sir. And we're going to start with what's going to mark as KB2. And this is on page 2 under the comment section. Second sentence. Deputy Baughman is most proactive deputy on what do you mean by most proactive?
Measurable statistics, traffic citations, warrant attempts, calls for service, FI cards, field contacts, just the measurable statistics, the way that we rate our deputies.
And how many deputies do you have on your shift at any one given time? Is it on a night or day, or?
Any one given time, 10.
Now, and you wrote, Deputy Baughman has the ability to conduct a thorough investigation, document his findings, and clear and concise report. You see that?
I do.
Do you stand by that?
Yes.
Did you ever have cause to be concerned about Deputy Baughman's report writing or his investigative skills?
I did not.
And he was under your supervision through, if I'm not mistaken, late 2014. Does that sound accurate? I guess we'll find out in the course of the evaluation. Okay.
No.
All right, now, I'd like to move on to personal article Exhibit 3, or rather enter into evidence as Exhibit 3. Is this another one of your evaluations of Keith Baughman?
Yes, sir.
And you gave him outstanding marks in some areas to include initiative, cooperativeness, dependability, and resource management, and exceed standards in all other areas. Would you consider this an atypical evaluation in terms of the ratings that you gave him?
Atypical as
Being
normal.
better than other deputies?
This is on the high end, yes. I have deputies, certain deputies that are in this range, but this is on the high end.
Now, during the time that Keith Baughman was under your supervision, was he always proactive, or even most proactive deputy on your shift?
I'm going to object to the form of the question. The question suggests the answer. This is direct exam. You should be allowing the witness to answer a question without suggesting what the answer is.
I was yes or no question.
That sounded like a pretty good question to me.
I thought so too.
Keith was one of the most proactive deputies on my shift.
Throughout the course of your supervision?
Yes.
Were you about to say something else before I interrupted you?
He was a leader on the shift, and you have to understand that we have a lot of young deputies that funnel through Deltona, and being a training officer, he was held to a higher standard, and he was a leader on the shift.
Now, you probably don't recollect this, but I'll ask the question anyway. Do you recall approximately when Keith was made FTO? Now, did you have a role in that at all? Did you recommend him? You asked for input?
I don't recall, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't recall.
I'm going to direct your attention to AB3 in the comment section. Down at the bottom, second two sentences. Deputy Baughman is currently FTO and has expressed interest in future promotion. I feel Deputy Baughman will serve this department well in this manner. Did you mean well in a promotional opportunity?
Yes.
So you felt that at that point he could be ready for promotion to sergeant?
Yes.
Now, at any point during your supervision of Mr. Baughman, when you would do these evaluations, did anybody in your chain of command, your lieutenant, your captain, all up through the sheriff, anybody come to you and say, no, look, we don't feel these evaluations are accurate or reflect Mr. or Deputy Baughman's work product? No. Now, please direct your attention to what's been in the evidence as KB4.
Okay.
I think this is not one of your evaluations to keep off.
Yes.
And you wrote in the comment section, Deputy Baughman is a proactive deputy, consistently leads the shift in most self-initiated statistics, traffic stops, 344s, whatever that is, warrant attempts, extra patrols. I'm sorry, traffic stops, 344. Warrant attempts, extra patrols. Deputy Baughman is a highly motivated individual who displays excellent time management skills. Deputy Baughman writes an excellent report with few of any errors. You see that?
Yes, sir.
Now, in your role as, and you agree with that to say?
Yes.
Now, in your role as his supervisor, throughout the period of time that you were his sergeant, what did you see as your role in terms of reviewing his reports and other reports of those under your command?
One of my primary responsibilities was to oversee whatever cases that the deputies are working, make sure their documentation, the proper investigations were done.
So during the course of that time, and these reports, they would come to you, it's probably not the whole 22 years, because they're evolving technology. But the report, all reports will come through you and sent by the deputy for review and approval, correct?
Correct.
And if you noticed that something was missing, or incorrect, what would you see your role in remedying that problem?
We do it daily, especially with the large number of new deputies that we have. We constantly send reports back for correction, whether it's grammaticals, spelling, missing items, property pages, evidence. We send it back constantly.
Okay. So there have been situations under your, while you've been a sergeant of these many years that you've received reports where there's been, in the report, there's been a reference to some piece of evidence, but that same report did not reflect that the evidence was collected?
Yes.
And in that situation, what do you understand your role to be?
I need to correct it.
And how would you correct it?
As I'm reviewing the report, I would get with the deputy and tell him exactly what he needs to do.
And in that case, if there's reference to evidence but no reflection that's been collected, what would your direction be to do that?
You say that until
Sure. And there's circumstances where you review reports that reflect or reference the existence of evidence. They don't reflect the collection of evidence. What would be your practice in terms of handling that once you notice that?
We don't get it.
Okay. Now, and you see that as one of you see that role of report review and remedying any defects to be a central role as in your duties as a supervisor?
Without question.
Now, I'm not going to go through every one of these evaluations, just out of interest of time. But I do want to draw your attention to let me just approach that and help you. It's going to be counted to Exhibit 7. Do you recognize that document, sir?
I do.
And I'm going to draw your attention to the last page of it. Is that your signature under supervisor?
Yes.
Did you write this letter of recommendation, sir?
No, I did not offer this letter.
Do you know who did?
I believe it was Sergeant Rigo.
How did it come to pass, sir, that you executed this document as supervisor?
Because he was one of my deputies. So when the paperwork was completed, it was given to me and I served it.
Did you review this letter of reprimand before you presented to Baughman?
I did.
Did you agree with it?
Obviously, there was some issues. There's several pages here. I'm not going to second guess what another sergeant did or did not do. It wasn't my job. It was produced in a house.
Now, I want to draw your attention to page 3 of this letter of recommendation, which is marked as Exhibit 7. And you see there are references at October 24th, 24th, in progress protocol call. Do you see that?
I do.
Now, were you on that call?
I never made it to that call. I heard that call come out, but I never made it to that call because Sergeant Hughes was already on scene, or he was actually running at that point.
Okay. Now, subsequent to that call being cleared, do you recall there being immediate District 4 regarding Deputy Baughman?
Yes, after that call was completed, I believe Keith came to the district.
And do you recall who was present other than Deputy Baughman?
Sergeant Rigo was there, and I'm not sure, Sergeant Hughes may have been there as well. And I know for a fact that Sergeant Rigo was standing with me.
Okay, so you were present as well.
Yes.
What do you recall of that meeting, sir?
I know Keith had asked me if he could speak with me. I guess it was in regards to this call. And I said yes. And I started to walk away with Keith to talk to him. Sergeant Rigo then followed. And Keith indicated that he wanted to speak with just me. And Sergeant Rigo basically told him that he is another sergeant on the ship and that he was going to be present for the conversation. And Keith said that he didn't want to talk at that point.
What happened next, sir?
Shortly after, it's hard to know what happened next.
Ultimately, was there a discussion between yourself, or perhaps Sergeant Hughes, you're not sure about that, Sergeant Rigo and Lieutenant Anderson with Deputy Baughman?
Yes, there was a meeting back at the district office. I don't know how long after it was that Keith had left or that incident, but there was a meeting between the four of us, yes.
You don't know if that was that same evening or?
It was the same evening, but I can't say if it was 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or an hour.
Okay. So tell me what transpired at that meeting.
There were some concerns about Keith at that point in time. I guess Sergeant Hughes instructed Keith that the call would be handled in one manner, and when Keith got there, he didn't necessarily agree based on what he discovered that it fit that criteria. So they wanted to pull him in and find out just what was going on.
And what happened after they pulled him in?
We brought Keith into the office to talk to him and basically find out, are you okay, what's going on? Keith was upset in the fact that Sergeant Hughes didn't agree with his evaluation of what he found out at the scene. So we called him into the office to talk to him.
Was it about that in progress report call that we discussed a few months ago?
I think that was part of it, yes.
And what, if anything, do you recall about what Keith offered or said or did in the course of that meeting?
Keith was visibly upset. I know Keith because I've been around him for quite some time, and he was very quiet, he was very to himself, and you could see something was bothering him. And a short period of time, 10 or 15 minutes into talking to him, Keith began to break down and cry.
Now, do you recall anything else about the meeting other than what we already discussed prior to Keith having sort of emotional outburst?
Not specifically, but you bring something up.
No, that's fine. Now, after Keith, began to get emotional, what happened next?
He asked if he could have a couple minutes to compose himself, which we said absolutely. He went down the hall, 10 minutes, composed himself, basically came back in, and at that point, it was a decision by everybody that it would be in Keith's best interest just to let him go home for the remainder of his shift and get himself together and compose himself and move forward from that point.
Now, do you feel if Keith Baughman were given the opportunity to serve as a deputy sheriff again, that he would give the taxpayers of Volusia County their money's worth?
Without question, I do. I'm not the sheriff, I don't make those calls, but if you're asking me, Sergeant McDonald, yes, I do. I know Keith was going through a rough time when all of this was going on. It wasn't the Keith that I knew from all the years of him being with me.
Just real quickly, what I'd like you to do is turn to KP 5, 6, and 7 to review real quickly. I'm not going to ask you specific questions about them. My ultimate question is, were these evaluations you performed? Yeah, you got to go to the end section.
KB 5,
6 and 7.
KB 5 is mine. KB 6 is mine. And KB 7 is mine.
And you read all the evaluations to this day?
Yes.
Now, you understand I understand we're present for it, but you understand the circumstances that have led us to this place. What do you understand of it?
I understand that Keith was going through a personal time in his life, primarily with his marriage, and it was clear that it was affecting him. And his evaluations reflected that. It was a tough time for him. I saw it happening in front of my eyes. And I just tried to do anything I could to help him out. I've been through it before. I know what it's like. And it's difficult. And I wanted to see him come through to the other side because I know the deputy that he is.
Now, do you have any familiarity with the circumstances that led to the allegations against Keith that we're discussing here today? Involving the report that you took in September of 2014 regarding a sexual battery case?
Only what I've heard of. I wasn't actively involved in any of that, but I did hear.
Where did you hear it?
I heard
Objection. Hearsay.
it's about.
Okay.
I heard that at some point in time, I don't know what shift Keith was working on, that there was a report that a woman came to him and wanted to report a sex offense that occurred approximately 15 years ago, somewhere in that time frame, I believe in another area. Again, I'm just pulling this out of my head. I wasn't actively involved in this, and that she did not want to, excuse me, she did not want to pursue charges, but she just wanted to document it. And that Keith took a report, and apparently she later said in her statement that she wanted to pursue charges, but yet told Keith that she didn't want to pursue charges. So there was a discrepancy between the report and the actual statement.
Now, we all agree that Deputy Baughman should have carefully reviewed the witness statement before he pleaded.
Absolutely.
Now, knowing that, do you still stand by your belief that Deputy Baughman would best serve, would be able to faithfully serve in his role as Deputy Sheriff of the Bush County Sheriff's Office?
To me, yes.
That's all the questions I have this time. Thank you.
Sergeant Howard.
Paradigm.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for waiting the other 2 days, the entirety of those 2 days.
Okay.
You testified on direct exam that Deputy Baughman was a go-to deputy of yours, and then was an FTO.
Yes, sir.
You then testified that as a sergeant, you would part of your responsibility to review reports
Yes, sir.
and correct them if you find mistakes. And would you expect to find reports or errors in a report of a 10-year sheriff deputy who was also an FDO?
I can tell you right now, I've got 22 years in, and when I submit reports to my lieutenant, he catches errors. We all make errors. I mean, I wish there was a perfect world where we didn't, but we do. So,
Happens. Now, you also testified on direct exam about exhibits KD 5, 6, and 7.
yes, sir.
Now, my KD 5 is an evaluation dated in the lower left-hand corner, lower right-hand corner of the second page. And, let's see, Deputy Baughman did it 10/29/13. Is that the same document you have?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then Exhibit 7 is also an evaluation, is it not?
KD 6 or 7?
KB, I apologize,
That's okay.
KB 6.
Okay.
KB 6 is also an evaluation.
Yes, sir.
If you could go to the second page, you can verify that the evaluation you're looking at is the same one that I have, because the one that I have is dated by Deputy Baughman, 3/12/2015. Is that the same one you're looking at?
And if it's 12 or 17, I don't know, but yes, I am looking at that.
Okay, and that's your name up there as the evaluator. It looks like you signed it in real small script, but I can barely make it out. It's March 14, 2015?
Yes, sir.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. You understand why we're here today, right?
I do.
You testified about that on direct. I want you to go up to the comments under Part A.
On KD 6?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Second page, KD6. With me? You
I
see
am.
where it says, Deputy Baughman writes good reports which rarely, if ever, require revision.
Correct.
Do you think that that's accurate?
Well, yes, it doesn't say never. It
Okay.
says rarely, if ever.
Fair enough.
Leave things in the open end for, we do make mistakes.
And you would agree that these evaluations are not science?
Science?
Science. Science, you can quantify things and count them up. And, but when we're using words to describe people, things can get a little loose.
Objection, testimony on question.
You don't agree that it's an imperfect process to try to use words to describe somebody?
No, I didn't say I disagreed, I said I didn't follow. I can only rate them based on their statistics, their measurable statistics to me, and their actions. I mean, yes, is it imperfect? Absolutely, it's imperfect.
How many reports of Deputy Baughman did you review on a daily basis?
I couldn't have a ton of it. It all depends on the day. I can assure you there was a lot over the course of my time with him.
And you would agree that your peer sergeants might have reasonably minded, might have a different view of an evaluation that you did. Just like you might have a different view or a different evaluation of a deputy that another sergeant did. of the personal issues in Deputy Baughman's life.
Yes.
Those personal issues don't provide him with immunity from disciplinary matters, do they? You'd acknowledge that notwithstanding their personal issues, they're still required to perform in accordance with the VCSO directives.
Yes.
And I don't want to get into this in too much detail, so I apologize for asking.
Okay.
But you too have gone through divorce, haven't you?
I mentioned that in the yes.
And you still knew you had the responsibility, even though as difficult as that may have been, to continue to perform the functions of your job within the confines of the Bruce County Sheriff's directives.
Correct.
You don't have any direct personal knowledge of his handling of the call in September of 2014.
The sex offense call?
Yes, sir.
No.
I don't have any further questions. Again, thank you very much.
Yes, in reviewing the rating forms, it seems that 2014 is omitted unless I'm just not looking at these dates correctly. So is there an evaluation form for 2014?
It's KB6, ma'am. It covers August 7th, it looks like, 13 through August 8th, 14.
Okay, and then it should be August 14th through whatever 15th.
I did not find that in the records. It's not part of my case. I don't have that as part of our exhibit now.
Well, if I may, and if I'm understanding this correctly, KB 6 is for the rating period of April of 2014 through March of 2015, which would encompass the 2014.
It doesn't say that.
Could I help just a little bit, Mr. McDonald? If you go to, Mr. McDonald, if you go to KD6, it's a little bit confusing, but up at the top there are some hand-scribed 8/7/13 to 8/6/14. Do you think that's accurate?
I'm confused. I don't know. I don't know whose handwriting that is. That's not mine.
Right, that's not yours. That doesn't appear to be accurate for the
No.
time covered.
No.
Okay, and that may be causing,
Yes, I think it is. At the first line of every quarterly or annual evaluation that we do will cover the time period that we're waiting for. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what that number is.
And
It says
I
April.
can understand that, but somehow,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing the dates of that latter part of 2014.
Actually, the matter
Evaluation.
in KB6 under the comment section, it says Deputy Baughman performed at a near meet standards level during his rating period, and then it has April 2014 through March 2015. I didn't see that first. My bad.
But I can see how what's written on the front would confuse one because I don't know what 8/7/13 to 8/6/14 is. I can assure you that wasn't the rating period that I completed this evaluation for.
Okay, that's fine. I was trying to get those in sequence, and I was thinking I was challenged there. Okay, thank you.
I have one question, just one. You stated that, you said, these were your words, during that difficult time, Keith was not the Keith that I knew. And then you later said you wanted to see him come through the other side. Then you answered Mr. Litch's question, and I don't remember exactly what you said, Mr. Litch, but it was something about being a good deputy, could you perform, and you said yes, yes, unequivocally yes. I would like to know what makes you so sure.
Because I saw that prior to being served his letter of termination, and I don't specifically know what days those were, I know he found a position in the high school where he was working, and I watched him do an outstanding job. I spoke to the administrators in the school that were so pleased with what he was doing, and I was confident that he was back. You know, I know what it's like in the middle of a divorce while you're going through all that. But when you come out the other side, you realize that life does go on and it's going to be okay, and you know.
But what specifically makes you confident that he's back? His demeanor, what he says? I want to hear something concrete.
Sure. I don't socialize with Keith. And again, I want everybody to know I have nothing to gain by being here. It's quite the contrary, if you can understand that I'm not going against my sheriff, but I'm basically stating the truth as I know it. I saw him working in the schools, and he was doing great while he was in there. And it was the old Keith that I knew. He was smiling, he would joke, he was actively involved in what was going on there. He told me that he loved his job and his administrators loved him. To me, that tells me that he's no longer funk and he's depressed and he's below his knee and hurting and everything that goes along with going through a situation like that. To me, it appeared he was back.
Thank you for answering my question. And I apologize for using your first name, but those are the words that he said.
Should I know?
Thank you.
Hearing no further questions, thank you for your time.
I have just one, and I'll sit down.
What I meant to say was, it's okay.
One more, say just one more thing. When Keith was assigned to the Deltona High as a school resource deputy, were you a supervisor?
No.
Okay, but how are you familiar with what's going on in the school?
Because there's a community, there was a community service sergeant that's in charge of the deputies that are in the schools. I once held that position. But seeing as how these schools are in the city of Deltona, we frequently walk through, we check up on them. He doesn't primarily answer to me, but I am still a sergeant in the agency, and he is in my city, in the jurisdiction. And we, especially the high schools, we try to walk through as much as possible and have a strong presence there. And if he ever has anything happen at the school, he's going to call me. He's not going to call his sergeant because I'm there in the city. So we spent a lot of time in the high schools.
And through your observation and through your discussions with the administration there, you glean from that you're doing a great job.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, no further questions. Thank you.
Is it very unusual that a deputy would get a reprimand?
When you say unusual, I haven't done a lot of them over the course of being a sergeant for 18 years, but I've done a handful, so they do happen. It's not common, no, it's not. We'll have counselings, a written counseling, but no, letters of reprimand are not common, but they do occur. I've done 2 in the last month, but it's uncommon.
Hearing no further questions, I'll thank you for your time and testimony and communities.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We're about